You're listening to BQN. Assimilate the audio.
Engage.
78 years have passed since the days of the original USS Enterprise. Now a new Galaxy starship has been designed.
Every week, guys. Welcome to Galaxy Class, a Star Trek Next Generation podcast on BQN and the Fandom Podcast Network. I'm your host, Counselor Amy Nelson. And with us today, we have a special guest host, Mr. Eric Reithel. Eric.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm honored to be here. This is my first ever sort of podcast, and I'm so honored you're having me on. Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh. Well, this has been almost to the day a year in the making because we met last year at Mission Chicago.
Yep. That's why I got my special shirt. It reminds me of the day I met you because that was a great day.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So you're wearing so for our listeners who aren't watching live, and if you do want to watch us live, we are going on Saturdays at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So join us there. So what's your shirt look like?
Okay, so this, if you're familiar at all, is the flag of the city of Chicago. White background with two light blue stripes representing the Lake Michigan and the Chicago River. And normally in the middle of the flag are 4 six-pointed red stars to represent major historical events in Chicago. But this shirt swapped the stars for Starfleet Deltas representing Mission Chicago, coming to Chicago for the first time. It was a year ago. It was April 2022. Oh, God. I sounded different then.
Yeah. Well, we have Paul watching us. Hello, Paul. We missed you last week. And yes, Mission Chicago pics just came up in my memories today. Oh my gosh, you guys, it was so much fun.
That was my first ever Star Trek convention. And like so many amazing things came out of that. I got to go to the amazing panels. I got to experience a show floor. I got to meet an amazing person named Counselor Amy Nelson. I'm just saying, like, there were some real good things that happened that weekend. So
we were doing dinners and hanging out together. It was so much fun.
When all of us in our Starfleet officer uniforms hit up that bar next to McCormick Place and the servers did not know.
Yeah.
But then, because true to Starfleet style, when we were leaving, every single one of them were like, this was one of the best major, like, big parties we've ever had, crash our restaurant out of this, like, convention center. Like, you guys are cool. I'm like, yeah, that's how Starfleet rolls, you know?
Right? Yes. Well, our Kevin, diplomatic standard bearer Kevin Scarf, says, sorry, I can't be there for the live this week. Family holiday celebrations took precedence. Well, of course, yes, it is Easter weekend for some. I know this is a big debate with Orthodox. Thank you, Rhea, for teaching me this. So Easter holiday season is here. And so Kevin's off doing family stuff. So we miss you. And thanks for popping in to say hi.
Oh, and a happy Passover and happy Ramadan to the people that celebrate. This is one of those rare moments. I think, and here's something to pile onto what Rhea taught you. I think 3 times per century do Easter, Passover, and Ramadan all fall on the same day or take place at the same time. Wow. This is one of those rare times in a century where you can wish all 3 of the major faiths in the world a happy holiday that they are currently actively celebrating or honoring or commemorating.
Wow. Okay. Well, there
you go. What a wonderful planet.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So, Eric, we are here to discuss season 3 of Picard. And We're going to be talking episode 8, Surrender.
So good.
But I would like to know, what have been your thoughts so far? I mean, this is the first time that I've gotten to talk to you about this amazing season.
Okay, this first off has been a blast. Now, I'm very much one of those, like, I love all Trek. Like, you're not gonna get me to badmouth a series, a season. Yes, there've been a few rough episodes here and there, but that's, I mean, in a decades long franchise, that's gonna happen. Season 3 of Picard, though, to say hit out of the ballpark like a Cisco Grand Slam is an understatement. Like, I loved season 1. I loved the fresh take they took on Picard, post Admiral, the new characters. Season 2, expanding, transitioning, growing. I thought the completing the story of Q in season 2 was one thing, but now that we've gotten to season 3 and the way that they are slowly but surely layering in these legacy characters while still introducing new ones and bringing along previous ones for the ride. I mean, basically take every awesome card in the Star Trek deck, shuffle it together, and still come out with a winning hand. This is amazing. I have had so many nerd squeal moments. My poor dog has, like, I have startled her at ungodly hours of the night. I work midnight, so I have to watch on my nights off overnight. This poor animal has been woken up at these ungodly hours with me just nerd screaming as I geek out at how amazing this season is. So many amazing moments. And to think that every episode has somehow managed to top the one previous. Speaking of episode 8, Surrender, like, the catharsis of this season has been beyond. Beyond is the only word I can use.
Yeah, I agree. And like what you said, that catharsis, it's been so healing. There's been so much closure. It's been very good for that. Like with the Rose story, I said before, I didn't know I knew that story closed. And what a beautiful story that still we learned about Picard's character and who he is now. Like, it's been just brilliant.
I could take us off on a tangent. I won't on Ro alone, but like you said, when we ended last seeing her in TNG as the rogue Ro who was like, no, I'm going to go help these people. True to her character, disappointing for Trekkies and very disappointing for Picard, but to bring her back so powerfully, give her catharsis, and still manage to make her a successful plot device to move us into, I guess, speaking of episode 8, this conclusion, because I mean, I don't know if this is actually a thing, if someone's read this. My behind the scenes knowledge isn't as up to snuff as I know a lot of people are, but to me it really felt like episodes 1 through 4 of season 3 here have been sort of like act 1. Season 5 now through 8 have been what feels like act 2, where we shifted with season 5 with the return of Ro, basically saying, hey, yo, changelings are back. And all of us are like, okay, are they? How? And confirming the whole Vadic story, and now bringing it to a head and a conclusion here with episode 8, while still giving us somewhere to go for what is now the last 2 episodes, 9 and 10. So, okay. But for episode 8, concluding our act 2 of this season has been epic. So
yeah, it really, really has. Yeah. Well, let's get to, hi Rashid. Let's get to our scene breakdown. My gosh, this was just amazing. And I am wearing my hashtag Deanna shirt because we get Deanna back. This is like amazing and so powerful. And you guys know I'm just going to be talking all about Deanna. But so let's first start, and we have Vadic on the bridge of the Titan in control. Ooh. And she's smoking. And I wanted to just sort of ask you, are we okay with smoking on TV? It seems so 80s.
It does. And okay, here's my thing on smoking. And I admit I am a little old school on this. Let me clarify for any potential bias that may come out of this conversation. I am a former smoker. And every now and then God, do I want one. And seeing
Yeah.
someone have one is what triggers that, oh, I want a cigarette.
Mhm.
What I do think is a appropriate use of it is when you see it, it's a villain. And it reminds us this is a bad thing. This is a sign that this is a bad person. This is someone who does bad things. And yes, it is, like you said, it's an 80s trope. But as far as telegraphing or signposting things to people that may not be familiar, I personally am okay with it. Uh,
Mhm.
and I think a part of that is because it allows me to also gather with like the opening shot. Cinematography was just amazing on that. We're looking at a dark star field. We suddenly see a little spark of flame. The smoke rises. It creates this instant atmosphere of we are opening with the bad person reveling in their success. But yes, to have to kind of create that with a smoker,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm with you. It's a gray area. It's really yeah, as Paul Wright just said, it seemed to fit the character more so than Rios. Like Rios, to that point, I like that he was a cigar smoker because we always use cigar smoking as like a sort of relaxing thing of like, this is what you do when you've done a job well done. You have a celebratory cigar. But then it turned into him always having one in his mouth, and it was like, okay.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
it's like to now transition that to cigarettes, which always have like a the stigma between the two. They're
Right.
very night and day. They're
Yeah.
very night and day.
Yeah.
Cigars, sign of celebration, good job, well done. Cigarettes,
Mm.
oh, you're a bad person. You put
Oh,
poison in your
yeah,
body.
yep. So she sets up this episode brilliantly, and I think it ties into last week's episode with this idea of, remember, it was the three blind mice, and that music was just haunting and everywhere throughout it. And it's
Yes.
continuing this orchestra, like she's directing the music as she's taking their eyes, and she turns out all the lights, and I'm going to take their ears, and she disables the comms. I'm going to take the road that they're on. She like shuts all the doors so that they're trapped. Like, and she's just going around, and then there's these torturous screams in the background,
Oh, that
and
was so
she's just like
hard.
directing this orchestra like, oh, she is evil.
When she first said, I'm going to take their eyes, and we hadn't seen that she was turning off lights, I thought we were going down a real dark, almost Eachhead from season 1 type scene where, like, oh my God, am I about to watch more people get their eyes, like, literally pulled out their head? Because that's a bit much, Star Trek. Like, I
Mhm.
don't mind. I'm not one to shy away from gore. I'm not one to shy away from graphic, especially when it fits the story. But even I've got limitations. I don't need to see that. So when they quickly shifted into showing it was metaphor, I was like, "Oh, thank goodness."
I know, and it excited me as a viewer because I'm like, "Ooh, take their eyes. What are they gonna do?" And then take their ears. I'm like, "What? What could that be?" It was really a fun guessing game for me. Yeah, that
Yeah. But
metaphor.
okay, I will say when she said, "I'm gonna take their eyes," and the lights dimmed and we still saw like blue soft glow of those
Yeah.
hallways, I'm like, "Did you though?"
Well, there's always the emergency light, right?
Exactly. Like, they can still see Vedic, do better. Mm,
Yes, yes.
You're phoning it in.
Yeah.
But no,
And
it was a great scene. I do think the sounds of the changeling death squad, I don't know what you call them, but going through the hallways and just dropping the few officers that remain on the Titan, it sort of makes you wonder if the ones that, because we were left with a skeleton crew in the episode with Roe, to touch base on that, it
mhm,
almost makes you wonder, like, okay, what the heck happened with the crew that beamed or, went over to the changeling ship that Roe, came from? Were they
mhm,
the lucky ones? Because
mhm,
goodness, like, we were just seeing Starfleet officers kind of dropped a little left and right, almost too much for my tastes.
mhm.
One of the things I always have exception with in Trek is how random extras especially Starfleet officers, are often treated as just cannon fodder.
Yeah.
And that scene felt a little bit to that for me, because it would be like nice to see them sort of fight back. Like, yeah, you were trained at Starfleet Academy. You know how to hold a phaser. Prove
Mhm.
it.
Yeah.
And then to that point, it kind of tied in with Jack going into that one officer's mind and actually getting to hear his thoughts, his panic is kind of
Mhm.
what made that okay to say, like, yeah, they're Starfleet officers, but don't forget, this one does science. This one probably hasn't ever had to hold a phaser in a live fire situation. Like, let's not account that they're not a military. They're not like a fighting force. These are explorers who are in a horrible situation. So it was nice to see them kind of answer that trope through Jack and whatever's going on with his red eyes that glow.
Yeah. And so he goes into like the security guard and like he's now like using his powers like
Right.
on demand. So this is something new where it felt like previously it's like the powers just sort of hit him and now he's getting control and he's like going out and he's walking around and he reports back like, yeah, she's got control of the ship. And then Baddock's like, I'm going to threaten to remove the air and the gravity. Like she's not playing. She's serious
Right.
about this.
Yeah, no, it was all well done overall. Like oh God, what a way to open an episode and show us just how high the stakes are. Because we are clearly in a life or death situation.
Yeah. So Rashid asked, why are the changeling army looking all the same and making that crackling noise? Well, Rashid, I don't know that crackling noise. And
I want to know
Eric,
that
you
too.
seem to have some answers.
I got nothing on this one because that is exactly a question I need them to address in the next 2 episodes. Because if they are all changelings, I get why they explained Vadic keeps her form as her, I guess, Section 31 creator slash torturer. Like, yeah, like I don't know if the clicking language, like obviously it's their language, but like I don't get why they're all taking these weird ghost face, almost like plague doctor looking masks as
Yeah.
their solid form. I don't
Yeah.
get that. And no, I do want that answer as well because I'm curious to know if there's an explanation other than it just makes them look that way, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's get to the best part. So we have Riker and Troy. They are captured. They are together on the Shrike. And what a reunion. I really feel that this version of Deanna is an amalgamation between Deanna and Marina. Like I'm hearing Marina so much more in this. I don't think she was as snarky in the seasons. Like when she's like, Imzadi, I should have taught you a different word.
Loved it.
Yes, because that's Marina talking.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
I think the one thing that they've done amazingly well with these legacy characters is letting the actors themselves that we have gotten to know and see in interviews and on stage and as people like shine. And that's truly amazing writing because it allows the performers to tap into more of themselves than play these people that are so far removed. And that's really how you mine amazing scenes like this one out of it. And my God, what a return for Marina Sirtis in this episode. Just
yes. Rashid, yes, I'm
Yeah.
sure. My heart was very full every time. And this one, they were healing. They were talking finally, honestly. And man, when Riker said, I needed to feel the grief, that numbness was my only connection. Oh my gosh. What and then Troy's like, yeah, I did something that all counselors should never do and skip to the end of grief. Like, oh, that was so powerful. And she was just trying to help,
Right.
but it didn't work that way.
Yeah. And it's to that point, like it really, and kind of addressing Paul's question about where Kestra was, like for them to kind of acknowledge that like they went to Nepenthe for Kestra, for their healing, to try
Like bad.
to find this thing, this end of grief, this end of whatever that they were processing, and for both of them to just finally have this honest moment of like, you were doing this, I was doing this, we did this together, and it didn't work for either of us. Why the hell are we still living there?
Yeah.
Like, I love that moment.
Yeah.
I love
And
them saying like, no, like, I get why we tried, but can we try and do it our way, not what we think is our way?
mhm.
Like, how many people that's the moment I identified with. Like,
So this episode has a theme of this going through doors.
right,
And it starts with this scene right here is that they are going to now move on to the next phase of their lives. They're going to walk through that door. And she's like, yeah, I don't want to be here. I miss this city. I miss people, the angry, grumpy, beautiful people. And again, I'm like, that's Marina talking. And
yep,
Marina likes the city life. And so I just loved it. And yeah, Riker's like, wow, what's worse than complaining about the woodpecker, a
right, but
two-headed woodpecker. Yeah, that's
exactly.
gotta
I
be
love
worse.
that. Like, as someone born in Indiana and then lived in Chicago, like, I completely identified that because I now live back in Indiana where I've been through the pandemic, and that notion of I miss being amongst people.
Mhm.
It is beautiful, complex, messed up, awesome as they all are. Like, that's my life. That's where I want to be. And then for her to say, and I want to be there with you
Mhm.
is just, yeah, like
Yeah.
you said, let's close the door on this one chapter and say we chalked it up to life. We tried.
Mhm.
And now we come through the next. Like,
Yeah.
such an amazing scene top down.
Yeah.
And yes, as Paul Wright said, tired of eating his tiny bunny corn pizzas. Good in bed, bad at making pizza. I love that line. Like, that's like the changeling was like you in so many ways. And I was like, that is a solid, only a wife can give that line dig.
Yes. And she's like, that changeling was charming too.
And like the look on his face was so like, okay, like hats off to Frakes. He has, for as someone who's been in the Trek game for as long as he has, to still mine even just the most subtle of glances of she said that line and the look he shot her of
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna let you have that one.
Yeah, because she's like, well, he was, I don't know, good at bed and bad at pizza. And then he's like, so just like me. I'm like, what a comeback. Like that back and forth is just golden. Oh, so good. Well, the next scene, very brief, but I wanted to include it because it's been annoying me that Shaw has not been calling Seven by her preferred name.
Right.
And I bet she's told him a million times. I mean, when Picard came on, it's like, well, it's Annika Hansen. This is what he's calling me. And,
Yep.
and then that scene with, well, how did you know she was a changeling? Well, because she didn't use my preferred name. And now this is yet again, my name is 7 of 9.
And that's this is the one part, and as I said, I love Trek. I love all Trek. I do have critiques. As so many people, we opened with Shaw being cranky Captain Shaw. We don't like this guy because he told Picard and Riker no. And then that scene about when I was at Wolf 359 won me and most of Trek fandom over. Shaw's awesome. This scene kind of tempered me on him again, of like Trek doing what it does best through sci-fi and metaphor of showing the power of respecting someone and not dead naming them and acknowledging letting people be who they are, because it is who they are. Such a powerful way to do that in a natural, organic way. And then for Shaw to go right back to, well, I've got pain. I don't like the Borg. You're clearly an XB. So you're always going to be Commander Annika Hansen to me. I was like, Shaw, now you're back down the road I don't like. I'm not a fan anymore.
Yeah.
Like, you should have, like, I get why they're doing it, and I would like it to be, I'm hoping it sets up a moment between the two of them, a heartfelt moment between the two of them in the next 2 episodes. But yeah, this one, it did temper me on him. It made me kind of go, oh, okay, maybe I'm not as enamored with Shaw as I thought it was because he was just a man with pain. Well, as he said, at some point, he swapped charm for a-holery. And
Mm-hmm.
if we're going to lean into the a-holery more than the charm and not have him fight to get his charming, genuine captain side back, I'm kind of like, okay, well, maybe you're not the guy I thought you were.
Yeah, and he was not very nice. And, I mean,
No.
later on, he's like, you're a Starfleet officer and you should accept the consequences. And why didn't you open the airlock and, get them out of here? Like, she had a chance to, save everyone and
I
not
agreed
let
with him
Vadic
on
take
that.
control.
I agreed with him on that. When he said, you should have blown that turbo lift with me and everyone in it, that to me was a captain moment there. Like,
Mhm.
yes, like we all know I'm Starfleet through and through. I have seen some ish and I should be out in space. Like,
Yeah.
I absolutely should have been spaced with these guys because your duty is to the ship, Commander. Like, I get that argument and I loved it. And yes, him saying there are consequences and you just set us up for some bad ones. I loved, I am one of those people that I love when a captain through love and tough love is not afraid to come down hard on an officer. I think it's when Janeway did it fantastic all throughout Voyager. Sisko did it brilliantly all throughout DS9. Like, these are moments of what makes a good leader. I guide and I support and I cheer when you are right. I correct, I fix, and I admonish out of love when you're wrong.
Yeah.
That was all out of love.
Yeah.
But then to cap it with Commander Hansen is where he lost me.
Right.
That's when it was like, okay, is this because you really love and respect or because you're thinking the XB screwed up?
Mm-hmm. And you bring up a good point. Like, Shaw is right. I mean, even when he's a jerk to Picard, it's like, and Riker, when he's like, we want to, get the Titan. He's like, well, you are a captain without a ship and you're retired. Congratulations, by the way. So, like, everything he's doing is like correct.
Right.
So he's right. It's almost like Jellicoe, where Jellicoe was right. We just didn't like it. It's the mannerisms. It's how it comes across.
See, I'm one of those rare Trekkies that I love Jellicoe. I adored that man. I loved seeing him put Riker through the ringer, and I know that's going to catch me so much backlash and ire. But when
he was right.
But yeah, he
Yep.
knew what his mission was, and he knew how he needed to achieve it. I'm in regards to Jellicoe now, just tangentially. And he said, it was basically him saying, Riker, I know what I'm doing and I know how I need to do it. And I need you to do this to help me get it done successfully. And I'm different than Picard. You need to be different with me or get out of the way. Shaw, seen moments of that here with Shaw.
Mhm.
Same thing. I'm not Admiral Picard. I'm not that guy. Commander Hansen 7. I'm not. Like, I have a different way of doing things, but I am also captain. I did earn this rank. I did get here, and I am still standing on the bridge of the Titan. Clearly, I must be doing something right.
Yeah.
Like, he all but said I ain't Janeway.
Yeah.
And I was really wanting him to. like there's such a juxtaposition of leadership 7 has had in her life, and I am just living for it all. And Shaw, like, that's why like I said, I'm repeating myself now, but yeah, like, that's why I did not like him capping it off with calling her by her dead name. Is that it didn't come across as tough love. It came across as borderline discrimination for her being an XB because of his history. And that's, to me, is like, I don't like that as a viewer. I'm questioning that.
Yeah. Paul writes, that was great. It's like 7 was just beaten down and defeated by Shaw in the beginning, and now she's regaining her sense of individuality. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
Very good. Now, listeners, if you're not joining us live, there is a great discussion. We mentioned Jellicoe. That is a trigger word for many. There's been
I'm sorry.
so many fun comments. So please join us live next week. So let's move on where Jack is he's revealing all. And he's like talking to Picard and Beverly and feeling like he's always been different. And like, we're getting him verbalizing what is going on with him. He's like, I can connect through people and like move their bodies and see through their eyes, which we've definitely seen in the previous episodes.
Right.
And I love how Sydney steps up and bears witness. Like, yeah, he did it with me, you know?
And this is, I love how the show brings the younger, well, that's not the right word, the newer cast and crew into the fold with the legacy characters. And by having Jack have this moment, it was so crucial to have Sydney bear witness and say, like, no, I saw it. He did it to me. As sort of like, I will testify on his behalf in the face, like basically doing it to like Picard and Crusher. Like, these are legacy people that through her dad, she knows. And for her to basically stand up and say, no, he's right. Like, I get why you science-minded explorer people are doubting this man and these outrageous claims of I can control people through their mind. What? Yeah, her to stand up and go, yeah, I'm witness. He did it to me. And it's the reason I'm alive because he helped me shoot a gun. Like, I phase her to changeling because he told me to. Like,
Yeah.
Like as yeah. Sydney also said it saved her life. Exactly. So to have those moments of everyone coming together, I love. What I don't love is that we still don't really have answers behind Jack himself.
I know. But he does get to control this wonderful officer who's on the bridge, and they want
Mira.
to have him enter in the Codex code so that they can gain control because Vadic's got everything on lockdown.
Right.
And oh my gosh, he's going over there, he's entering the code, and Vadic grabs the wrist.
Such a good scene.
I know, and realizes that it's Jack controlling and starts speaking to Jack. Oh my gosh, that was creepy weird too.
Right. And I will say, for the people that are listening and not watching, Amy, you do need to send me this screenshot of Officer Mira because boy, do I have a crush on this man. Bajoran, everything, and then the red eyes. Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, digress because I loved it. And Vadic, like, Amanda Plummer is just the best at chewing a scene and mining every line, every word of her dialogue to amazing effect. And credit to the actor here, Officer Mira, who has to basically, as an actor, play stoic stone face. My mind is controlled by Jack. And here you like imagine being him on set, Amanda Plummer, like nose to nose, acting like she's talking through your face to someone else, and you've got to do it with a straight face because you're being mind controlled. That whole scene is just brilliant. Brilliant.
Yes.
From everyone. And yes, like what a great moment and a wrinkle, a setback. Here you think, wait, we're going to use the mind control to get us what we need. We're going to get one step closer to mission complete. And suddenly, no, grab the wrist, look into your eye and say, you're in there. And I know you're in there. And I know you can hear me right now.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Like she knows so much about him. And as viewers, we're like, how does she know? What is it? Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So when are you going to spill the beans, Vadic? Tell me. I want to know.
Yes. And with her being her evil self, she makes this so boring trope. I heard it. I'm going to kill one person every 10 minutes. I'm just like, really? Could we have? I get it. Let's just move on. She's evil. I didn't care for that part.
No.
Just old.
No.
Old hat.
I do. I mean, I hate that, you know, they killed off Lieutenant Tavine. I adored Tavine. I feel like I get why, because there were there were two other, getting back to my earlier point, there were two other extras in Starfleet uniforms standing in that line, and it would have been super tropey for her to have executed any one of them. And it would have been an officer we don't care about. Okay, yes, to your point, I've heard this before. You murdered the innocent one. I don't care about. I'm supposed to be mad because you killed the Starfleet officer that is nameless but was there. Okay, you're bad. I get it. Do.
Yeah.
But for her to suddenly turn the phaser on and vaporize Tavine, that shocked me.
Yeah.
Which is good writing. It made me care. It made me mad. Oh, I was so mad. But at the same time, it's like, oh, God. Like, why her? And I do think that, like, yeah, like as someone who, when they were, I think it was back on episode 4, the ship was falling into that nebula and having Tavine be one of the officers that figured out like there's bio energy in this nebula and I can't quite figure it out. And then Beverly going, oh, it's like contractions, we're whatever. To have like them build up these bridge officers so brilliantly, make us care in just 8 episodes. And then now we're saying goodbye to one. Such a shocking, heartbreaking moment that I, as a viewer, did not like. But as a fan, I appreciate why they did it. And it hit all the right emotional notes for me.
You know, this episode reminded me of Beyond twice. And this is one of the moments where Crawl is trying to figure out who has the piece that's hidden in that, you know, that person's head. You know?
Yeah.
And talking to Uhura and John Cho, who plays Sulu. And,
Correct.
You know, he's like, I'm just going to start killing y'all. So you better start. And he, you know, points the pistol or whatever at someone's head. And
yeah.
And then that's when she's like, okay, here it is. And her little thing opens up. It's like, it was very similar. It reminded me of Beyond. So that was the first time. All right. Well, let's move on. Worf and Raffi come to save the Rikers. Oh my gosh. Seriously, Worf and Riker have to be my favorite. Their chemistry with each other and all of it. Like Riker can't believe that Worf has this major change. And he sees Deanna and he starts going and just throwing up.
Okay.
And he's like, I've been through this journey. I have thought of you and your empath powers, and I've grown, and I'm this so much. Riker's like, inappropriate.
But that, to me, I loved that. Inappropriate was such a perfect delivery. Again, praised for Frakes, because it calls back to for the Legacy fans, it is a bit of fan service, but end of Next Gen season 7, Worf and Deanna together, dating, all good things. They're a couple. And to see Riker get jealous, where Worf is just genuinely telling a friend, I've been on this emotional journey and you as a counselor and my friend will appreciate it. And Riker going, what line are you walking here, bro? Because it feels like you're hitting on my wife.
Yes. And like Troy gives him this little look like, calm down, dude. Let me have this moment. And Worf just keeps on spewing and telling her like he has so much to say to her. And it's just, it brings and it rebonds them together again, which was just beautiful. And then, oh my gosh, Riker's response, is this still part of the torture? What's going on?
That was what at the beginning when you and I started talking, that was one of those moments I laughed out loud so hard my dog jumped. She was like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm laughing at old friends be old friends right now. Like, I think it's just a continuation of the torture. I was like, okay, only best friends that have history can have a line like that and have it still be okay. Like, it's so good. It's so good.
So good. Like, and it's just, you remember all those scenes and that strong friendship that Worf and Riker had. Like, back to the TNG days for sure.
Oh, and of course, Worf entering that scene in classic Worf style, blade through the back of an enemy. Like, okay, here they go. And then suddenly, oh, nope, that's Worf's weapon. What is that called? A DeClerck? Oh God, I follow Dave Blass on Twitter and he's going to admonish me for not knowing that. But I want one because it's cool. It's a Klingon blade and it's new.
So while they're on the Shrike, they go to, I don't know where this place is. I don't know, but they see the stolen remains of the Picard body. And they're like, okay, what happened? And then we learn that only certain parts of his brain that contain the Irumodic syndrome was taken.
Right.
What in the heck?
Again, I feel like we're going to get that answer next week. Like, that's on the other side of the red door. And I think a lot of that, I don't want to get too far ahead, but just to throw it out now, since we're talking about it, in one of the final scenes when Seven sticks around on the bridge and Vadic does say how appropriate that you are here to witness this, doesn't give us an answer, but it drops a clue / breadcrumb And I'm wondering if, tying it to what we're talking about with this scene and mentioning how they took parts of Picard's brain tied to the Irumodic syndrome, is it really Irumodic syndrome? Or is it something else, possibly linked to his time as Locutus?
Right.
Because this show is really good at connecting dots in surprising ways. And I have to believe that for the fans that are not next gen savvy, the ones that were not there, like my mom, she's only jumped into Picard with this series. She has no idea who these legacy characters are or really what their deal is. For them to give her such a meaty scene from Shaw about the only Borg so like violent and so evil they gave him a name, that's gotta be a tie in my head. That's gotta be a connection. Like, you don't give a character something that weighty just as fan service, because
Right.
I think this show is way too smart, way too clever, and way too aware of what they're doing and how they're doing it and doing it so well to let that just be a, here's fan service, here's a great monologue about people that were pained by Wolf 357, or excuse me, Battle of Wolf 359. Like, this is a scene that you remember. And I think it's got to tie in to all of this. I don't know how, and I'm hoping that there's a connection there. I would love to be right. I may be wrong. I'll accept it if I am. But yeah, I think there's a connection there. There's got to be.
Well, back to your comment of what Worf's blade was. It's a Kurlith. Paul.
Kurlith.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. I want a Kurlith. Someone make me one or buy me one.
All right. Well, let's get back to the Titan. And we've got, look at that picture right behind the brain with the red and the blue dots. That plays a very important part. And so they go finally. Picard, Crusher, everyone goes to, I'm assuming, engineering or wherever Geordi and Data are.
Right.
And they do the little test of 8 years ago, you gave me a gift. What was it? So we confirm no one's a changeling. Again, a joke about the wine. I love it.
But this time it's flipped on its head. It's Picard basically saying, you hated my wine because you have pedestrian tastes. Him saying, like, I have made good wine. It's you people who have awful pedestrian tastes. Like, oh my God. Like, for him to finally clap back. I loved the clap back.
Yeah.
Like, such a good clap back.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I don't know, for those of you that are watching, like, the brain scan of Data with the blue and red dots, is actually was actually slipped into the credits. All those different little credit graphics that we see of the, like, LCARS displays. I was wondering what that one was, and to finally learn in this episode, oh, I'm looking at Data's brain as he internally battles with Lore. What a fun little explanation of what that was.
Yes. And so they finally make the decision to remove the partition because they can't enter the codex code to gain control. And Sydney's like, well, if I had a year to do it, I could write a program. My dad could do it in a month. And I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So we need someone to compute faster than 900 million something per second. So I was like, okay, we need Data.
Right.
Yeah. And what a beautiful montage this whole thing is, where he's going through all of his little trinkets, all the fills, all the memories. Like, the first is his Holmes hat, and then this pipe, his Holmes pipe. He has a tricorder. This
Tasha.
one made me cry.
Oh my gosh.
Tasha Yar hologram. My gosh.
And, like, I loved that, although it ultimately was okay, like, Data playing the long con conned me in all of the emotional ways of him handing over things to Lore, saying, I give these freely, knowing you're deleting them. And for him to hand over something so emotionally weighty of this, like, this is the memory I have of my dear friend. Like, can you imagine, like, just being put in that position? Like, take a human that means so much to you and basically handing your worst enemy every memory you have of them and saying, I give this freely, knowing you're going to delete it because I think you need it more than I. Just like, I lost it. I was like, nope.
I know. And Laura's like, in the beginning, he's like, why are you giving me all these things? These are just trinkets. I collect power. I collect, being in control, and you're collecting these things. And when Laura asked him that, that's when I was like, there's a reason that Data is doing this, and each picture brought more and more weight of the memories into my mind. That you had to have had this because poker was so integral.
I love that you show this frame because I've talked to a few other friends about it, like you with Tasha Yar, my friend Alan, when he gets to showing Spot the cat, everyone had that Data trinket that made them go, no, Data, don't hand over that one. For me, it was this deck of cards.
Yep.
Because for me personally, my introduction to some of Next Gen, Voyager was my first show, but when I went back and got into Next Gen, some of the first episodes I remember seeing was always a scene of them playing poker and sitting at a table. And so as a fan, I was just like, oh, this group plays poker. Cool. What a neat little thing they do. It wasn't until I went through an entire Next Gen watch later, years later, that I was like, these poker games were few and far between. These were the limited moments where we really got to see them let their hair down and truly be friends.
Yeah.
And that for me is what, like, this was the embodiment of the Next Gen cast as my crew. Like, yes, Tasha, yes, Spot the cat, yes, those are all important things directly to Data. This deck of cards, for me as a fan, and I'm starting to get a little emotional, I apologize. For me, this was the connection of him to his crew. The nights we played poker and got to just be us, not knowing whatever the future held. Who cares? We're here hanging out right now at a table playing cards. And so for him to hand over the cards, that's when I was like, no, not the deck of cards. Not the deck of cards. And so, yeah, that was it for me.
Oh, I know. Oh my gosh. You said it brilliantly. I am right there with you. And it's amazing what this visual just brings. It floods back. And you're right. They were small moments. It was at the beginning of an episode where they're sitting around and then they get called away to deal with the, tragic of the week, whatever.
Right.
And then of course, all good things. The final scene, like that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So good. Okay. But one that was teaching Data to love was Spot. This was his ultimate gift, right? And Data, he explains why Spot was so important. Like, he is the best of me. This is the last thing I'm giving to you.
Of course, it's Spot. It should be Spot. And then the I don't want to the big reveal of Lord deleting Spot. How dare you? We had an entire movie where Data cried over this cat. How dare you? And then to have Lore basically say, haha, I've won, but you haven't, because Data, with the being brilliant as he always has, said, I knew you weren't deleting these things. You were claiming them as trophies. And now you have all of me. And you are me. I am you. Goodbye, brother. I was like, what? How? Like, if there was ever an appropriate end for a villain that isn't just them getting blown up in a ship explosion, this was it.
Yeah.
And only Data could do it. And Data could do it to Lore. And only Lore could fall for it. Like, what a brilliant way to put a button on this particular nemesis that we've been with for years and have it just be so perfectly organic, top down.
Yeah.
Oh, like I said, Data got me in the long con, just like he got Lore. And I'm like, okay, does that make me a little too much more like Lore than I want to be? But geez, oh Pete's.
And with all of those trinkets that, Data was handing over, it was Spot. When Lore grabbed him, there was the tiniest of smile that only a pet's love can bring to you. And it was that moment where I was like, oh, this is what Data is doing. He is getting Lore to understand this. And when Lore's like, why are you giving me all these things? Because you didn't have anything. Like, Data still has compassion for his brother, even though his brother is evil, right? It was so good. It just encapsulated so much of like how I feel, and I love cats. So it was so good. But you're right. Lore's just throw it away, throw it
Another
away.
trip
But the
for the
spot,
pile.
the spot he, held him.
Mhm.
And Laura's like, well, that's enough of you. I'm going to overtake you. And then we get this scene where it's all red dots, and you're like, no, why are we seeing Data die again? Again.
And that's how I knew that scene. That's when I knew Data was a better man than I, because you, as touching back onto the Tasha point, there's no way on earth you ever get me to hand over every good memory I have of my beloved pets to my nemesis in life. You just don't. I lose. I fail. Data wins. Like, no, I can't. But yeah, to see that it turned into this and the red brain and no, gosh.
Yeah. And then wait for it. And then the dots go blue. Data's coming back. And the embrace, and where Lore is fading away, where it's like, he's like, what's happening? He's like, you took the things that were important to me, and in doing so became me. We are me. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Brilliant writing, script writing, the words, everything.
Well, acting from Brent Spiner, because I don't know if you caught it, because we were talking about subtle glances. When Lore started to fade away, there was almost a smile on his face of, I'm okay with this. It was weird, but like, I mean, Brent Spiner playing both parts opposite himself is brilliant, as he always does. And yes, like, goodbye, brother. Like, but Lore, in a weird way, seemed okay with it. And that made me okay with it, because it was like, okay, like, we're now one in the best possible way.
See, and I think it's the reason he's okay is because now he's experienced what Data has experienced with his love. Like, that love changes a person.
Oh yeah, and I think that's why he was okay with it, was he had that finally realized, I get it. I get it now.
Yeah. Oh,
such a good scene.
Oh, I know. I'm like out of breath.
Kudos to Brent Spiner and the writing, and everything that is Picard season 3 right now. That was such a brilliant capstone to that story. I loved it.
Oh, okay. Let's move on though. So Jack finally makes it to the bridge after convincing Picard and Beverly to like, okay, mom and dad, let me go. I can do this. That was a cute scene. I liked it.
Yep.
And he's holding this bomb, and Bada's like, what? You're going to destroy everyone? He's like, no, it will probably destroy me. So you better, if you want me, he's sort of like, I don't care about anyone else. I mean, of course he does, but it was like, I'm the one you want, and I'm willing to, sacrifice myself. And so, but Vadic, they get so close to each other.
Oh God, yeah. And again, Amanda Plummer chewing the scene. And again, I love that line of, she's like, because she's like a little arrogant. She revealed and is starting to reveal her egotistical side of, you think that little toy is going to kill me, more or less. And he's like you said, no, but it'll kill me. That's when I was like, okay, Jack, got a good head on your shoulders. Now you're thinking.
Yep. And again, now we're learning more. Vadic knows Jack. She knows his powers, and it was like, after years of silence, but now you can hear the voices, and you're ready to hear the answers. Come on, Jack, let me tell you who you are. The choice is yours. We want to know what's behind the red door. Don't you, Jack? Don't you want to know? And why does she have the answers?
Yeah. And like, that's the thing, is that like, it's just him calling her out for being a blowhard was like, more or less, he used other words, but like for him basically doing that. And it was like, it was saying what I was feeling of like, okay, Vadic, whenever you actually want to start giving us those answers that you have that I don't, come on, tell us.
Yeah.
Who am I? What am I? What do you know that I don't know? And how do you know it?
Yeah. Oh, goodness. So thankfully, Data's back online, Data lore, I don't know, Data. And
Yeah.
so he's now gaining control. We get Worf is able to land his shuttle to the dock. There's an amazing fight scene between Rafi and everyone in the corridor. She like takes him out.
The Michelle Hurd.
Yes.
I love when Riker said, "You scare me." or however he worded it, he was like, "You're scary," or whatever.
Yeah.
I forget the exact line, but when he acknowledged, like, you know, what a kick butt lady she is, thanks to Worf. And then, of course, Worf being oh so Worf is like, you're dipping your left shoulder. I'm not impressed.
There's always a little critique just to make her better. That's all.
Exactly. And Rashid, yeah, Data on the comm as a pissed off computer is fantastic.
Right? He's using humor, which he was never able to grasp. And I'm not including Generations because that was terrible humor.
Yeah.
This
Like-
humor is much better.
Which I think is the parts of lore he gained. Because lore
Yep.
had a wicked sense of humor. And I love that Data has a wicked sense of humor.
Yes.
Like, like what do you
Yes,
call it? Like
you're
pro
pissed off.
settling? like it's just like him basically using grandiose language to basically tell Vadic, shut up, I'm in
Yep.
charge now. And of course, Data being the perfect foil to Vadic.
Mhm.
Like the one thing she didn't expect. Because remember, she went to Daystrom for Picard's body.
Mhm.
It just so happened that Riker, Worf, and Raffi found Data and what was left of the last Sung's project.
Mhm.
It makes perfect sense that Vadic would not have expected this because she wasn't looking for Data like they thought.
Right.
So they've got this secret weapon in Data who regains control of the ship. So it is like an absolute, like, oh, to reference the playing cards again, perfect little, like, you know, wild card. We've got the wild card. We've got the ace in the hole, and it's
Yeah.
Data, and he's taking the ship back. And he's got a wickedly funny monologue to do it.
Yes.
Sorry.
And so now that they have control, we really find out what Jack was holding was not a bomb, but a force field. I loved it. And it's like, all right, do it. Open the turbo, whatever. What the turbo?
The bridge. Like,
What opened up in the bridge?
literally the view screen. And okay, a friend of mine said that this was cheesy and he didn't like it. I love it because how many episodes, how many movies have bad people taken over the bridge of a starship?
Mhm.
How many times have we seen it happen? The Ferengi did it in an episode of TNG. Like,
Mhm.
and for them to finally build into starships an emergency backup of when need be, you can just open the view screen and blow everything out into space to reclaim the ship. Feels like a failsafe that we should have had decades ago.
Okay. I'm so glad you were explaining this to me because I didn't know where they were going. I'm like, the bridge is secured. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no, literally the view screen opens up as an airlock. And yeah, like Paul Wright says, there's a freaking airlock in the bridge, and it is an absolute failsafe that only a high-ranking officer can activate. And I will say, for as amazing as it was, the one line in this scene that didn't work for me, and I'm gonna catch heck for this, and I'm so sorry, was Seven saying, "Get off my bridge."
Mm.
I get why, I get where it came from, but it just didn't land for me because, again, going back to early in the conversation, I'm now lukewarm on Shaw trying to step up as leader. I think it would have landed better for me if she would have said, "Get off our bridge," or "Get off the bridge." But for her to kind of take ownership when we're sort of in this situation because of Seven not, quote unquote, blowing the turbo lift and getting rid of the changelings with Shaw, it to me, it just, I wanted to love this line. And don't get me wrong, Jerry Ryan played it brilliantly. She acted the absolute gangbusters out of it. It just, I don't know why it didn't land as it was more of a single double than a home run for me. And I don't know why.
So can I just throw this out there, maybe to lessen that response? Like, she asserted herself, and like the comment was before where she's finally feeling more, what was that one? Oh, I can't get it. Where she's more confident in herself. Like, and she's like, "You're going to call me 7 of 9." Like, she's asserting herself.
Correct.
And so here, I mean, she's the one who commandeered the ship to take Riker and Picard, where she was in control. She was, captain.
Right.
And so I sort of feel like it's in line with what she said earlier about call me 7 of 9.
Right. No, and I agree with you. And like I said, I get all of the beats. I do. And I understand, like, yes, Rashid, it shows her individuality. It shows that she's channeling her inner Janeway, as Paul Wright says. Like, all of these things, God, I wanted this line to land so much for me. And like I said, Jerry did a brilliant job. No critique on the actress. I don't know what it is. And I think it's just me being me. And I'm not a nice person. I don't know. But like, it just felt a little too unearned.
Too possessive of her. Yeah.
Yeah. I would have loved it to have said, "Get off our bridge."
Mhm.
Because I think to me, it would have been more of this was a team effort, as opposed to me, who didn't even know that Jack here was holding a force field that's now saving my butt, saying, "Get off my bridge," as if this was my plan all along, when I really have no idea what's going on. And I'm just glad that this young Picard kid is saving my butt right now.
Yeah. So Data does open the emergency airlock, and there we go. And her last line, beep, solids.
Yep. Okay. I know that there's been some critiques all along about the use of F-bombs in Picard. I personally think I'm here for them. I think they're authentic, and I don't think they've been overused. And every single time one's been dropped, it's been earned. And if there was ever an F-bomb in the entire season that has been earned, it's Vada getting to say this one, because what a summation of all of her emotions about solids in 2 simple words. And the best part, because of her changes, because I know from DS9, changelings in liquid form can survive the vacuum of space. It's how Odo survived. It's how other changelings survive. But because of her genetic, physiological changes that she herself underwent, she is now more, dare I say, fleshy, meat baggy enough to not survive the vacuum of space. And for her to drop this line, float through space, and then die as a bleeping solid on the bow of her own ship.
Yeah.
So good. So cathartic.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm done.
Yeah, this is the second time that I thought of Beyond, when Krall is out in space, and it was that slow motion of, slowly his body getting shattered. I really just got Beyond vibes from this episode.
Yeah. And what a wonderful tribute.
Yeah. But when I saw this, I was like, oh, that's a little much. But I'm like, wait, Vadic has the answers who Jack is. Now where are we going to get him? So
that like, it for as cathartic and awesome as the scene was, it was also just as infuriating of like, it also channeled back to Star Trek 6, Undiscovered Country, when the one they're trying to get off of Rua Pente, and the one Klingon jailer was like, "Well, since we're gonna kill you anyway, I might as well tell you." Right as they beam up Kirk,
Right.
and he's like, "No, he was about to tell us everything."
Yeah.
Do you want to go back? Absolutely not. But no, it was oh my gosh, like, so good. But yeah, like, watch Beyond again. Yeah,
Yes,
there's a
Paul.
lot of,
come on.
yeah.
Very good. Oh my goodness. So let's jump to Data again, using contractions. Data, you just used a contraction. No, I didn't.
Right? Didn't. Like, oh my gosh. It appears
And he
I'm
cracks
able
his
to use
neck.
contractions. Yes, and he cracks his neck because of old age. Like, so many good moments.
Yep.
And then
Yeah.
Yeah. Another emotional gut punch as only Data can do. Data, how do you feel?
Yeah.
I feel. Like,
And he I don't know how Brent Spiner did it, because this has been asked before previously, and I can't quite remember exactly if it was an episode or movie, but Jordy's like, well, how do you feel? And so Brent Spiner says, I feel, but he says it like he's going to continue with an emotion.
mhm.
But then when he stops and then you wait for it, and then it's like, oh, he feels. Like
Yeah.
that was a heavy wait for it moment of, yeah, he's reached his goal of becoming human.
And I think what played it for me was that you saw the realization of it, because here you've got Jordy saying, like, Data, how do you feel? I honestly believe Data in that moment was saying, I feel, scanning my entire syntax vocabulary for the perfect word. Wait a minute. I feel like I'm feeling that. And then the emotion just catches up with him, because now he has these emotions. And then it just turns into, I feel like it was literally I'm going to give you an answer. Wait, that is the answer. So brilliant. I cannot sing enough praises about Brent Spiner as Data in this scene, and what a continuation of the character finally in this episode 8 of season 3. Gosh, so earned.
Yeah. And then finally we get them all around a conference room table. Like, I can't even express how beautiful. And the director, I forget who's the directing. We get individual shots, and we get individual coming together and renewing friendships. Like, we just had Jordy and Data renew their friendship, and we're getting Beverly and Troy renewing their friendship and reaching their hand across the table. And like all of the times where they're chit-chatting in the spa, getting their nails done, or they're exercising in their crazy outfits, or you know, all of that just keeps rushing through into our memories, and to have them all together again, so much love.
And they acknowledge it. Like Picard even saying, like, it's been so long since we've all sat around a table like this. Like, ugh.
And Worf's comment, get out. I was going to send you all my slain heads, but
so Worf to be listening, be like, I was gonna do this, but I was told that that's not okay. And everyone's like, thank you for not.
Oh my gosh, yeah, thank you for not.
I think the only thing that would have made this scene better for me, as amazing as it was, would be when they started to get down to business of, let's talk about how we move forward, because Frontier Day is still coming. I think we needed some of the newer cast crew members in the room with them. Like, have them, like, someone walk in and say, hey, we still got a problem. Right. Glad you're here. Let's talk. Because to not have Shaw, to not have Seven, to not have Raffi, to not have any of the other crew, when they started to talk business. Now, this isn't Friends catching up like old friends. That was amazing. That was a great moment. But for them to get down to business and say, now how do we solve the big problem? For them to not have any of the new people in the room felt like there were empty seats at that table, because they've invited too many more people now along on the ride. Like, there needs to be that continuation, especially if this is supposed to be a passing of the torch. So I really, really, really would have loved to have just one newer person in there. But yes, as you've said, Paul, this is the hero shot of the season overall, because of those emotional moments. Like, and it was so good. It's just so good.
You know, it was interesting when Picard was like, you know, doing his little recap and summary. It's like, well, there's changelings who have infiltrated Starfleet, and, you know, they're going to happen on Frontier Day, and we have to figure things out. And I'm like, why is he telling them this?
Right.
And the only thing I could think of was, well, because maybe to catch Deanna up, But
Yeah.
Riker knows. Worf definitely knows.
Mhm.
Geordi and everyone in the room knows. So I was like, Picard, why are you doing this? I guess for Deanna's
Yeah.
benefit
And she would be the
ours.
one, and then she's the one that takes the baton and says, I think it's high time I have a talk with your son.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I loved that where she's like, I think it's time I meet your son.
Yep. Because there's a
And
dark energy on this ship.
this is exactly what I wanted when they kept showing Troy just as a hologram or, as a video call. It's good that they repaired her relationship with Riker and that she's the mom and she's the wife. That's all fine and dandy. But we didn't know Troy in the series like that. Troy is a counselor. Troy is a professional. And I did not want her only job to be to comfort Riker and to, have that come together.
Right.
She needed to be the professional, to have her career, to get to use her counseling. And oh my gosh, we are going to get it. I'm so excited for next week.
I know. Okay. But to that end, last week when they ended of Vadic saying like, it's finally time we all learn who you are, Jack Crusher. And I'm like, okay, I'm here for it. And then we didn't this week.
No.
And to have it be almost another ending of, I will walk through this red door with you. I was a little infuriated. I was like, again, angry. Good. Overall good. Like, don't misunderstand me. It was one of those really good cliffhanger endings of just, no, I want more and I want it right now. Like, don't you dare cut this episode off right before these two walk through this red door.
Yeah. And yeah, Troy is just capturing everything and talking to Jack. And it's like, have you ever seen, and going through all these lists of in your imagination, in your dreams. And I'm like, or while you're awake, have you ever seen a door? And it's like, and it's right there. I feel like that's where Troy got her senses of he is extremely scared of this door.
Yeah.
And again, we're getting this Troy walking through the door that we had at the beginning with Riker. Like, we need to go through the next phase. You can't sit in this one space. You need to move forward, because if you don't, you're going to go backwards and life isn't going to move on. And she's so good at that theme in this episode.
And it did the one thing that I love that they are doing is they are mixing the legacy characters with the new crop. And they are doing it so brilliantly. Like, to have it be not just Troy as professional counselor Troy, like, I'm not just the emotional wifey wife. Here I am. I'm a Starfleet officer and I am a trained counselor and I am here to help you. And I will go through this red door, whatever hell's on the other side, together with you, and have it be the two of them. It was almost hinted at briefly on the Shrike when Troy and Raffi were standing side by side typing away at a computer, and they just had those casual moments of Raffi, Deanna, weird day, huh? Like, that blending of old meets new, and now we have it coming in the next episode. Like, it would have been one thing to tell us what's on the other side of the red door in this episode. It's going to be so much more exciting to see now that we have a legacy character walking through that door too. The stakes are now so much higher. Because it's not just Jack going on a Jack adventure of like, okay, I'm going to go explore my door. There are more characters that we are invested in, involved in this process now. So yeah, stakes are going to be super high for episode 9. And I can't wait to see what's on the other side of the door.
I know. Paul, yes, we still have a lot to wrap up.
We do.
Yeah, I want an extra long finale. Oh, please. Yeah,
I know it's gonna be a brilliant two-parter, because we got to know what's on the other side of this red door. We got to know what the ultimate plan for Picard's body is. We got to know what the plan to attack Frontier Day is. We got to know where the other changelings are, because Vadic ain't the only one. There's a whole ship that Rode took a shuttle into, full, that are holding the rest of the Titan crew hostage. And as you said, Rashid, I'm going to amend your I don't want it to end. I'm going to harken back to Picard in the first episode of season 1 when he was playing chess with Data, or poker with Data. I don't want the game to end.
I
don't. And we only have 2 episodes.
Oh, man.
But it's going to be so good.
Oh,
I'm so excited.
It is. Yeah.
But no, like I as I said at the top, I'll say it again. I don't know how week after week this show betters itself and gets better and better and better, but it does. It just it finds a way to just level up every week. Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be such a great ride. I'm here for it.
Oh my gosh, yes. So glad to see Deanna. #Deanna. The answers, but yet they're concluding so much stuff. It's really, the character development is so amazing. And yeah, we just got to figure out what in the heck's going on with Jack and Frontier Day, and just some small things here and there.
Nothing major, just the characters.
Yeah, Suman, the writing and this season has been superb. I feel there's just enough callbacks and fan service, and I love all the fan service. You just keep throwing it, but it's so well done.
Earned fan service.
Yeah,
that's the thing that gets me. Is it's not just them like throwing us bones to like placate us. They are earned moments that feel like they have a rightful place that in history, as they should. Like that's what's getting me. Is that they're not just, oh, have a bone. It's like, no, you get this moment because this moment is earned and these characters are working for it.
Yeah.
So great.
Yes, definitely a love letter to us TNG
100%.
fans. They're doing it right. Thanks.
Written by people who love TNG.
Yes.
Yeah.
So very good.
Incoming transmission.
We would love to hear what you thought of today's episode and hope you'll join our Facebook group, the BQN Collective, to continue our discussion there. You can also tweet your thoughts at Galaxy Class Pod, or you can follow the network on Twitter and Instagram at BQN Podcasts.
Please hit the subscribe button on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts and leave us a star rating and a written review. That helps others to find the show. You can also follow the entire network podcast with our master feed by searching BQN. This way you won't miss any of our fine shows like All Good Things, Union Federation, History with the Szilagys, Infinite Diversity, Mickey's Marvels, Trexperts Quiz, What's the T-Bev, and our newest show that launched this week, Captain's Couch with Captain Jeremiah. All about Voyager. You might like that, Eric.
Oh, I adore Jeremiah, and I love Voyager, my first love. So yeah, I'm definitely tuning into that one.
Very good. Well, Eric, thank you so much for agreeing. This was, I feel, a great conversation. Where can people hold on? Sorry.
I'm so excited.
Where can people find you to continue this discussion?
Thank you. No, it's been an honor to be here. And if people want to find me, I am on both Twitter and Instagram at the same handle. I am at The Crafty Curler. But curling like the sport, I'm a curler. So you can find me at The Crafty Curler on Twitter and Instagram. Amy, for people that don't know where to find you, where can they find you on the internet?
Well, I'm here quite a bit on BQN, which you can, listen to me on All Good Things and Union Federation. I have a Twitter at Miss Amy Nelson, but really my favorite place on Facebook at the BQN Collective.
Priority 1 message from Starfleet coming in on secured channel.
If you'd like to help us keep all of our shows coming to you each week, you can become a patron of the network on Patreon. We are putting out more exclusive content for our patrons that you won't want to miss, like It's Green. And Mark and I just recorded a new It's Green, all about 80s. It's amazing. We had a fun time. Madonna, Michael Jackson, all the good things. So with a patron subscription of $5 or more, you can join our meetings of the Hive Mind on the second Saturday of each month. Watch your Patreon messages for details. A huge shout out to our very own associate producers, Jim McMahon and Davey Willett. We are so grateful for your support.
And at this time, we would like to thank our executive producers who make all of this possible. And a special thanks to Mark White for our artwork and Joe Keegan, love you, Joe, for our show music.
Thank you for beaming aboard the Galaxy class. And until next time,
I'm Eric Reithel.
Great joy and gratitude.